I always begin these channels with a meditation while listening to sound healing. And you can see the link in the description below. And as I was doing that this morning, I was shown the energy of a female energy in a way. She looked human. She was probably in her late 50s, long gray hair, glasses, sort of short, sort of plump, sitting in a throne. And I keyed into this energy. And at first I didn't want to, for some reason. I wanted to become aware of somebody else, but I became aware of her. And so I immediately pressed record and keyed into her energy and understood that she is the goddess of truth, the divine goddess of truth. And she showed me first a caterpillar chewing on grass and burrowing into the ground, and then an earthworm burrowing into the ground and aerating the soil and playing its role quietly. And I think that's her message for us today. To be willing to play our role quietly. We live in a time when attention is paramount and we want to be seen for what we do. Here I am recording my channels, being seen. And yet I get very few views, and that's okay. I do it for another reason. I do it to put the energy out there that is asking to be expressed. It doesn't need to be seen or heard to be expressed. It's still out there. And we all have these aspects of our lives that require a certain level of humility, certain roles and actions that we perform that require a level of humility that can be challenging to maintain because we all want to be seen. And yet, the goddess of truth, this very humble, simple woman, a woman who has reached the age where if she were human, people would stop paying attention to her as much. And I can say that because I'm a woman almost of her age. And yet she's the arbiter of truth, and she's the carrier of truth. She is truth. This incredible holder of the recipe for growth, harmony, and peace, truth. And so I think she's showing herself. I think it is showing itself to me this way, in this form, because of this message of humility, of being willing to do great things, express incredible generosity, openness, kindness, acts of charity, without being seen doing it. To try to transcend the desire to force others to witness our best life, and rather be willing to allow others to see our most challenging aspect of life. To share that way, to be humble in that way, to say, I suffer, and I have joy, and I go to Mykonos and bathe on the incredible beaches there. But I also suffer, and here it is for you to see. I share this with you so that you feel less alone. So that's a more visible version of playing the role that we're asked to play without playing a role. That's truth. Be the earthworm who burrows into the soil and aerates the soil and does so completely unseen. And when he does crawl out of the soil and throw himself on the street, we witness his suffering as he finds his way back to comfort. And sometimes we do so with a certain level of revile, I think is the word she's saying. Revilement, repellence. And yet he still performs his role. And it seems imperative, this word or this phrase, playing the role. It seems she's using it on purpose. Because the earthworm isn't performing a role, but the earthworm is performing a role. The earthworm is being the earthworm, but is also performing an act of generosity for humanity in the soil, and does so unseen. And we're being asked to do the same. Do those things that produce the most love without needing to be acknowledged for it. In fact, do it with the intention of not being acknowledged. Be fully in the truth of your divine essence without ever needing to be told that you're divine by anyone else. That is her message today. Not an easy ask, but possible. Thank you.